Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas. I am Molly Gambhir and we are starting off with some news just coming in. Huge developments. The US Supreme Court ruling against Trump's global tariffs. That's a big development with far-reaching implications coming in. Let's just tell you more about what the top court has said at this point, what's known. The top court saying tariffs were enacted under a federal law meant for national emergencies. More than $175 billion in US tariff collections are at risk of having to be refunded. Importers expected to scramble for refunds from the US Customs and Border Protection Agency on import duties paid over the past year. In fact, these tariffs, which were enacted under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, remember, prompted extensive litigation and debate over whether a president can actually levy broad import duties without explicit congressional authorization. And Trump has touted the revenue generated by all of his tariffs, estimated by the Congressional Budget Office at about $300 billion annually. $300 billion annually over the next decade. But the estimates show that a substantial amount may need to be refunded if the court rules against Trump. Remember, that was the other point as well. Now, after the Supreme Court ruling now, refunds of $175 billion would exceed the combined fiscal 2025 outlays from the Department of Transportation at $127.6 billion and the Department of Justice at $44.9 billion. So those are what the numbers are looking like right now. Remember, this news coming in just a short while back. So we are awaiting further reactions. Of course, this is a ruling that has been highly anticipated also because of the kind of impact, the kind of implications it would carry. All right, let's first go straight across to our correspondent, Susan Teherani, who's joining us on the broadcast for more on this. Susan, first up, tell us more about what the court has said and any initial reactions that we are gathering at this point.
Right. So we do know that the courts have decided to shut down President Trump's actions regarding tariffs under the current framework and rubric that it was. Basically, what we're reading so far, there are many, many pages, is that the court wasn't buying the fact that these tariffs are for the benefit of the country on the one hand under that rubric and under that law that it was, and also that it's basically a tax on the American people. The word tax continuously is prevalent in each of the opinions from these justices, really indicating that ultimately this was up to Congress if they were going to be doing this, the administration doing this. It had to go into Congress and change tax laws. But nonetheless, we are getting reactions right now. There are some Democrats, of course, on Capitol Hill who are celebrating this. They're saying that it's to the benefit of the American public and prices are going to come down. Of course, as I mentioned before, during our previous podcast, this is just the beginning of the road for the Trump administration. They believe that they have other tools in their toolbox to continue with these tariffs. Now, how long this litigation is going to take, it could take months, it could take years. We're also now hearing from different segments and business segments. For example, businesses called, it's a coalition of businesses called We Pay the Tariffs, have really for a long time fought President Trump's duties. They're now saying that the administration's only responsible course of action is to establish a fast, efficient, and automatic refund process and return these tariffs. But that's the million-dollar question on whether or not the administration has the tools in its toolbox to not do refunds and then perhaps maybe stop the tariffs from here on forward. That's a big question as well. President Trump not only speaking in Florida on Wednesday, he boasted about the tariffs and how it has bought so much money, hundreds of billions in revenues for the American people and the economy. But yesterday, when he was also in the U.S. state of Georgia, you could see him visibly shaken, saying that the Supreme Court cannot shut down these tariffs, sort of indicating that he knew what was about to come. And then we also heard from Kevin Hassett, his administration official, on the economy. He says that we anticipated this and we have other plans of action as well. I think what was very interesting is that immediately after this opinion and this case was out in the open, Wall Street really reacted positively, with the Dow and the S&P 500 really going up.
Yes. In fact, we are getting updates on that front itself, Susan. As you just pointed out, the markets are reacting positively. Wall Street has reacted positively after the top court has struck down Trump's tariffs. In fact, Wall Street responded quickly and positively to the ruling. And here's how the main indices are performing as of now. Let's just take a quick stock of what things are looking like on the markets front. The S&P 500 index up 0.45%. Dow Jones, meanwhile, up 0.07%. NASDAQ, 0.42%. So the markets are swiftly reacting as anticipated. This is a move that is going to have far-reaching implications. So a lot that remains to be discussed at this point, including what things would look like